Heyo, this is Gary, also known as Jim Day, and you have made it to the Get Going Fast page. So I'm very happy you made it. Congratulations, shake your hand. You're here, and I'm here to help you now to get going fast with your AI installations so that you can enjoy this excellent hobby. Listen, not all of us are computer sci majors or big eggheads that eat and breathe this stuff day by day. Some of us just want to make a funny picture, make a picture of a cat, get a picture of a pretty gal and make her move or something like that, right? And that's why we're here. I want to help you in a quick, easy manner that is understandable, and perhaps you're going to walk away learning a little bit. Okay, wouldn't that be cool? So what we're going to look at today is three reasons or three problems that people have with Python. This is a very common sort of thing. I do a lot of troubleshooting during the day for people, and I'm going to tell you about 95% of the time it comes down to the same issues. Okay, like it says I don't got Python, and then it says I got the wrong Python, and then I installed the right Python, but it still says that I've got the wrong Python. Okay, don't worry, take a breath, hit back, you're going to be fine. We're going to look at these all, going to be real brief, and maybe you're going to learn here a bit of stuff. We're going to show you how to do it yourself, how to fix this stuff, okay? Before we do that, though, I do appreciate you liking the channel, sharing the video, telling your friends about it, going over to that weird uncle's house of yours that no one's visited for a while, and you know, the one that just gets socks every Christmas from the family, and telling them, say, hey, I got something more from socks for you, more than socks for you this time. Have you heard about AI? Get going. I bet you if you got a weird uncle, he's probably already into AI. So that'll be a nice connection. Bring him back into the fold. All right. Well, we appreciate your time here as usual. Thank you for being part of the community. So let's get this. Let's open up this pit, yo, and let's look at what's going on with Python, yo. Okay, so the three problems that you're very likely going to have is, one, you don't have Python installed at all. Okay, so we'll cover that. Two, you got the wrong version of Python installed. Okay, and the third one is you've got the correct version of Python installed, but it's not set up correctly in your environmental variables. Okay, so we're going to cover all of those. Now, the first thing that I want you to do, okay, what I ask everyone who asks me for help to do is to run a system checker. Okay, I've created a system checker. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. This isn't me tricking anybody into getting anything. You can just go over to getgoingfast.pro, all right, and you will find that there is this post here of list of all scripts and disclaimer. Okay, so it has all the installers, but it has this one at the top here. It says, note, all installers rely on correct initial setup of your AI system. Free system checker can be downloaded here. All you got to do is you just got to sign into the web thing. It doesn't cost anything. It's just a free sign up so you get this, so you can download this. Okay, when you run that, it's going to download to your file explorer, and it's just going to look something like this. It doesn't really matter where you download to it. You're going to have one that says CogniChecker System. Okay, you'll run it. It actually will put out a log here that you can send to me later if you need to be. But what it's going to do is it's going to pop out something that looks like this. Okay, and you're going to be able to, I'll tell you right off the bat, you'll be able to see what's going on. You can, if you don't have NVIDIA, that's a problem straight off the bat. But you're going to get down here and you're going to see your stuff, your mini conda, your Git, your Python, your CUDA. Okay. Now I went ahead and nerfed my Python here to put the wrong version in here so I could show that. But if you don't have Python installed, you're going to run this and it's just going to say not installed. And then you know off the bat, that's your problem. You don't have Python installed. Okay. Another thing that happens with this is when you try to do a Python command, or when it tries to run, it says that Python can't be found. Okay, so let me show you kind of what that looks like. Well, I won't be able to show you what it looks like not having it, but I can show you how to check that real quick. So like, let's say you're over here and you're trying to do something with Python. Okay, one way you can check is just type the word Python and then go -- version. Okay, And notice mine says I got 3.12. Now this is wrong. I set this incorrectly so that we can fix this, okay? But you should say like 3.10.11. But if you don't have Python at all, it's going to say that this Python command isn't recognized. It'll say, I don't know what do you mean Python? It's like, what? You're speaking gibberish to me. That's basically what the system will say. So then you know right off the bat, your problem is you don't have Python. So how do you fix it? Well, I'm glad you asked, friend. Let's go fix it really quick. So to fix this one, all you got to do, go to your Google and just type Python. And what we're going to do is we're going to go 3.10.11. And you can type download. Okay, real easy, right? Then we'll go ahead. We'll click this one up here, Python release 3.10.11. Scroll down and you're going to see here it says files. And then what we want is this Windows installer 64-bit. Okay, if you're running a 32-bit Windows, you're probably not going to be doing AI anyways. This is the one that you want is yours 36. So you're just going to click that. Okay, so you're going to download like, let's see here. We'll just walk through each of these things here. So it's going to go ahead and ask you where you want to download it. This one you can just put in your downloads, okay? Just save it. When it's done, you'll just pop it up like this. Okay, and so that's going to go ahead and pop up this window here. And so before we click the install now, click this add python.exe to path, okay? Very, very important. Path is basically, well, not even basically, it is your environmental variable. So when you type the word Python, the computer goes to like a dictionary, says, do I know what Python is? And it goes, oh, here it is. Oh, and this is where it goes. Okay. That's why when you don't have it in there and you don't have Python installed, you say, it goes there and says, do I know what Python is? It says, I don't know what Python is. What are you talking about? And then you get your errors. So we're going to click that add Python to path. Then we can go ahead, click the install. It is going to go up and set it. Okay, and it takes just a minute, but this is going to lead into our third problem. So I'll put a pin in this because sometimes you can install it and it's still not going to show up. We're going to deal with that here in just a second. Okay, so we'll get this up. Then what we'll do when it's done is we'll pop back over to the command prompt and we'll see that Python is working. Okay, and then you can see that it worked, so we can just go ahead and close it up. Now, when we go back to our command prompt, you got to close it out, and then you got to reopen it, okay? You got to close all these out. Reopen it, because it resets for us. Now, if we type our Python-version, actually, you're going to see this fixed it for us. It put the 3.10.11 in there for. So now you would have it, okay? So if you didn't have, if you're getting an error that you don't have Python, it can't find the module, it doesn't know what Python is, it's not recognized, it's because you didn't have it installed, okay? So we just went down, downloaded it, loaded that bad boy up, got it in there, and then all of a sudden we're fine. Okay, the next one that we're going to look at is you have the wrong Python installed, and it's going to be very similar. So when we looked at it before, you saw it said it had Python 3.12. I think, in fact, if we go over to that other one we had, let's see if it's still there. Oh, I must have closed it. Anyway, it said that you had Python 3.12. Okay, the AI stuff does not work with Python 3.12. Okay, so in these different versions, what they do is they have procedures, they have code in there that works, and then when you get to 3.12 they change it. A lot of stuff, there's a word in computer science called deprecation. So they take functions, things that used to work, and they deprecate them. It means that they become irrelevant. Okay, that's if you ever see a sign. Sometimes stuff will still work with deprecated code, but it'll warn you. It'll say, hey, warning, this code is deprecated. In the future, it's going to be changed. Okay, in 3.12, there's stuff that has been deprecated. It is not there any longer. So when these older apps are trying to run it, it's not going to find it. You'll get like disutils errors or numpy errors or things like this. It's the old stuff. A lot of the stuff, it relies one on each other. So like for me to run my app, I need this dependency, but this dependency is depending on this dependency, right? And so even though this one might be right and my app is going, oh yeah, that's the right one, if this is changed, this one will throw an error because it says, well, it's got the wrong stuff over there. I don't understand. So you have to make sure you have the right thing. And that's what's happening when you get a lot of these errors because you got Python 3.12. Okay, how do you fix it? Well, it's pretty easy. You do the same thing that we did before. You just download 3.10. But one of the things you can do here is go click on your start menu, click add or remove programs. It's going to bring up this, okay? Scroll down here and you'll see your Python. So I've got Python 3.10.11. Uninstall 3.12, okay, if you have that actually installed. Now, I do want to show you uninstall it and then install Python 3.10 the way that we just did. Okay, now I do want to show you one other thing, and this is what we're going to get into with our third one, is when we install Miniconda, which you have to have, Miniconda comes with Python 3.12 prepackaged into it because Miniconda relies on Python 3.12. So keep this, but we have to do a little bit of fixing to get it to work properly. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. But to summarize, okay, if you run your system checker and it says you got Python 3.12 installed, that's your problem. Uninstall it and then put in Python 3.10 the way that we just did. Okay, so you delete 3.12, download 3.10, install it, add it to path. Good. Okay, now let's go to our third one here. And the third one typically has to do with our Miniconda. This one you say, I installed Python 3.10 and it's still saying I got Python 3.12. Okay, that is an environmental variable issue like we was just talking about. So your Miniconda, what it does is it comes down and it says Miniconda is relying on Python 3.12. But what it does, it says instead of relying on you having to have it installed on your system, we're going to package in our own version of Python. Okay, so it creates a folder, it installs Miniconda, but inside that folder it puts its own Python. Okay, so what happens is Conda needs to be able to know where to get that, and so it puts it in your variables. But here's the thing, and I'll show you how it works, there's a hierarchy. So you could have your Python 3.10, I added to path. Why is it not working? Well, because it's lower on the list than Conda's 3.12. Okay, so the machine goes, I type in Python, it goes to the dictionary, it goes, do I know it? And it goes, well, let's go to the list. Oh, there it is, 3.12. It doesn't bother to look below it. It just hits the first one it gets and it grabs it. So what we got to do is change the order. Say, no, look at this one first. Okay, I got 2 dogs, and I got 3 dogs actually, but I got 2 that are always competing for my attention, and they know the one that wants to get the attention, if they can get their nose up there in front of the other one, they're going to get the pets. Okay, so it's the same way with your Python. It's whichever one's going to get up there is the one that the computer's going to look at. So let's take a look at that really quick. We'll flip on back over to our desktop. To change this, what we do is we type env. Okay, and it's going to bring up this. And we're going to click environmental variables. I wish I could get that out of there. Let's see here. Okay, and it's going to, you're going to see up here under your use variables, it says path here. So we click edit. Okay, and you're going to see here where it says Miniconda, all this. What you'll find is that you've got these 3 tens, but they're way down here. Okay, and so when you're running Python, it's hitting these, it's going through these folders and it's finding your Python first. So what you do is you click on these and click move up. Okay, grab the next one, you go move up, and you press OK. Okay, so how we got there was, and you close all that out, we clicked our windows, we clicked edit the system environmental variables, then we clicked down here environmental variables, clicked our path, clicked edit, and then we clicked it and moved it to the top. Now, if we go to, and we close it all out, now if we go back to our command prompt, okay, where did it go? Now if we go back to here, and we type our Python -- version, you're going to find it works. Okay, so that's your problem. You're like, I installed it. It says I got 3.12, but I know I installed 3.10. Just change the environmental variables to push it up there. Then when you go ahead and you run your system checker, okay, like so, just click on over to there. Okay, so then we go back to where our system checker is, and we click it. Now, when it pops up, you're going to see that says Python 3.1011. Okay, so you're gold. Go ahead and get this this download. Like I said, it's free. It's going to help you huge. And if you want my help, you got to do this anyways, because otherwise I'm going to send you to go do this anyways. So better just get it done. But that's how you solve those problems. And honestly, that's going to solve a lot of problems. Now, one last thing that I will tell you is, if you tried to install something, say you had the wrong Python on there, so you had Python 3.12, and you tried to install something, and then you fixed it, okay, and your app is still not working, that's because what it did was it installed your app with the wrong one. You got the correct one, but the app is still installed using the wrong stuff. So it's like saying I have version A, all right, and I install the app, and the app says, hey, I'm using version A. And then I say, okay, oh hell, I don't want version A, right? I want version B, okay? And so we fix it, all right? And then we run the app, and the app goes, well, I'm still configured for version A, and you're getting errors. So the best thing to do at this point is just delete it all and start over, okay? Delete your folder, clear out your virtual environment, okay? If you're using Conda, remove your virtual environment, and then just reinstall everything, and then it'll work, okay? So to summarize, 3 things. You didn't have it installed, just go download 3.10.11, install it, add it to path. Second, you've got 3.12 or 3.13 installed, don't do it. Throw it out. Okay, you don't need it. Okay, in fact, you'll as far as right now is concerned, you'll never need it. Okay, maybe in the future you'll need it. Right now, you don't need it. Okay, and if you ever do need it for an app, there's ways to, you use a Conda virtual environment, you can use it without screwing up your system, okay? But the bottom line is, if you got 3.12, don't get rid of it. Get 3.10.11. Okay, the third thing is you've installed 3.10.11, but it's still registering as 3.12, and that is simply go to your environmental variables and change the order. Put the 3.10 stuff up at the top, press OK, 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 close out your thing, start it back up again, and then you're gold. Okay, honest to God, if you get this down, it's going to solve 90% of your problems. All right, if you have any questions, hit me up. I'm happy to help you if I got the time. Come over onto Discord. There's lots of people over there that can help you as well. Okay, sometimes you got to wait. All right, but there's people that are willing to help if you're a decent person, and I know you're a decent person, or you wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be spending my time with you if I didn't think you was a good person. So come on over, be respectful, ask for some help. People are going to help you. All right, you can find me on the Reddit, you can find me on the Discord, you can find me on YouTube, you can find me on GitHub, Hugging Face. You can find me all around the internet. I'm here for you. Okay, in the meanwhile, you guys stay good, and we will catch you on the other side. Yo.